Brandon, let's talk about that final visual processing skill. Very different than processing of the point of focus, very different than scanning and searching for a target, tracking capacity. Unpack that for us in terms of the science behind it and its application to quarterback play.
Tracking is just a key skill for a quarterback. It's really seeing the whole field. How well can they keep track of many moving players and defenders on the field simultaneously? You can think of it as sort of that floodlight where you're broadening your attention to see the whole field. And really, it's an important factor also in understanding movement and where things may end in space. So you've got to take limited visual angle and speed to determine where something is going to end up. So I'm predicting where I need to throw this ball to hit my receiver. All of that underlies sort of that performance with what we call tracking capacity.
Yeah, so when you're tracking just the receiver,
Easy.
you're making an anticipatory judgment about where that receiver is going to be, and you deliver the pass to that predicted place in space. But when you start adding more moving targets and more bodies, the windows are very specific and what's going to open up and what's going to develop. Talk to us a little bit more about that anticipation factor.
It is a true determinant of anticipation. And as you pointed out, we can look at things like predicting trajectories and things like that on a single moving object. This receiver is going at this speed and this angle. Here's where I need to throw it. But it's never that easy. You also have to take into account, when will that defender collapse on my guy? When will they coincide? How soon do I need to throw it before they intersect? And there's not the only two on the field. You've got other moving parts on that. So you actually have to take in all that visual information to make a throw decision.
And not every quarterback is going to be able to track the same number of moving targets. Let's talk about those who are on the higher end of the tracking capacity score. What are their advantages?
Yeah, quarterbacks that score high can generally track north of three players or objects. So you're looking at 4, 5, or even 6 moving objects. And so you're making a determination pretty much across a secondary there. Whereas QBs on the lower end may have difficulty with even 3. So 3 can become demanding. So now you're limiting to maybe a quadrant or a half field or something like that.
So is it safe to say that there's a tendency towards a little bit of tunnel vision if you can't track? It means if you're tracking low, it just means when you get beyond a certain point, you're going to have difficulties keeping track of where everyone's moving. And so that sounds like tunnel vision.
That's a great way to describe it. And again, these players with low scores, that doesn't mean they can't see the whole field. What happens from sort of a scientific standpoint is that the visual attention network becomes so captivated by those particular objects that it has difficulty broadening itself to broadening its attention to see many moving objects. So they're just captivated by that area, and then that spotlight may move versus just broadening and seeing the whole field.
Yeah, and you might have quarterbacks who say, gosh, I never saw the safety there.
Right.
They're missing because they can only track a few in their visual space.
That's right.